Some of you may be raising teenagers. There's so much I could say on the topic. I was an early childhood major in college. That doesn't mean it covers teens, right? But what I learned was this. Respective to the age, there is each category of ages has developmental best practices or best things to look for in that developmental age group. And one of the things that we have to consider as we're raising our teens is we have to empower them, and we have to realize that what we're depositing in their lives is seed for future. And it's a fine line. It's a funny, fine line when you're raising a teenager, because they're already going to a storm, and you don't want to be the one that discredits them or that breaks their spirit just because you want to be right, just because you want to be in control. But you still got to empower them. So how do you do that? Well, I don't know if we can do it in 5 minutes. Welcome aboard. So we can do it. Teenagers are going through a very complex time during their preteen and pre-adult years. And without getting to a lot of statistics and semantics and logistics, the one thing that I can say is that what my weakness was in raising my last teenager is I wasn't ready for a great child. I'm just going to be honest. Let's put our cards on the table so you know what I'm working with here. We're taught through life experiences and through our culture to handle the hostile and the bad and the good and the ugly. But what about a great child? Maybe you're ready. Maybe you were trained for that and you were such an angel. Well, I was prepared. I was raised in Cleveland, Ohio. I was ready to take on some devils, okay? You know what I'm saying? In my own house. Yes. I was raised on Huff Avenue. You know, US Marshals came in, the race riots of all kinds. School invaded with dogs to sniff for drugs. Anyway, I'm getting way off the topic. The point is this. You're going to raise teens, you're going to have to walk on ice. Because they're going through a storm already, chemically, hormonally, psychologically, psychosocially, even in their educational and academic pursuits. And so you have to empower them with words. And as I was getting ready to say earlier, one of the things that I hadn't understand was how much my life, my ensample or my example, ensample is that which is lived right before a person or an example. I didn't realize how much my example had impacted my son. He said to me once, he said, you know, when you talk to me, I just feel dumb. I feel, I don't feel intelligent anymore. He says, you're so smart and so witty and so this and so that. And that's a good and bad thing, because one of the things I'm trying to teach him is that you've got to change your perception. You got to change how you look at something. You got to look at things like a Rubik's Cube, you so to speak. Things have many colors, many sides, many twists. And so one of the things that I want to share with you, that I want you to empower your kids with, is this. You don't follow your feelings. Feelings follow you. The day that you start walking by all of your feelings, we finna have some hell up in this house. And the problem with teens today is that when you tell them that, you got to tell them in love, and you got to tell them with an example, and you got to tell them. You got that? You got to tell them in love. You got to make sure you're having an example where your life is not dictated by feelings, and you got to tell them. You can't not tell them. You got to empower them with love, with an example, and you got to be committed to empowering them, even when they make you mad, even when they, as they say, piss you off, because they're going through a storm. My son says things to me like, but Dad, you're so smart. Give me a break. Dude, you're the one in the gifted classes. You're the one that's a Sea Cadet. You're the one that went through training at the naval base, for the love of goodness. The boy is bad to the bone, but he's going through a storm. And you got to be there. And I'm going to tell you something else. You got to be willing to give up some of your pride and control and some of your territory. Well, when I saw him that he had one of my favorite shirts on, I almost fell to the floor. When he had my favorite jacket on, I almost fell to the floor. I was like, hold up, I ain't used to this. My daddy wouldn't have. But guess what? It's a new day. It's a new journey. And you're trying to raise him from boys to men or from girl to woman. You want to step it up and empower them with words as well as an example they can count on. This is the Coach Corner. Follow me on Spreaker and tell a friend all about what we do here, motivate, inspirate, and much more. See you next time.